Have you ever been stuck in traffic watching cars zoom by? Maybe you just sat in your family car imagining where it came from. Now imagine a time when India did not have its own car. A time when the roads were filled with cars that came from other countries, even if they were built in India. This was the world before the Indica. Today we'll go on a journey to learn about the man who gave India its first fully homegrown car, the Tata Indica. This is the story of Ratan Tata and how his dream shaped the Indian car industry. Before the Indica, even the most popular cars in India were not fully Indian. Cars like the Maruti came with a Suzuki name from Japan, and the famous Ambassador was originally based on a British car called Morris Oxford. People loved these cars, but India still did not have a car that was truly its own. Now, Ratan Tata wanted to change all that. So in 1991, when India's economy opened up and suddenly the dream of a fully Indian car seemed possible, Ratan Tata had big plans. But they weren't just about making a car. He wanted to build a family car that was made by Indians for the Indians. In 1993, Ratan Tata shared his dream with the world. He promised a car that would be the size of a small popular Maruti Zen, have the space of a much bigger car like the Ambassador, and come at a price people could afford. He also said that it would be cheap to run because it would use diesel, a fuel that costs less than petrol. Ratan's vision was not just about making a car for Indian cities. He knew that the car had to be strong enough to handle India's rough roads. And he also wanted to be good looking, safe, so that it could also be sold in other countries. But creating the Indica was not going to be easy. Ratan Tata needed the best minds to design the car. He set up a new team of engineers to work on the project at Telco, which would later be called Tata Motors Engineering Research Center in Pune. Back then computers weren't as widely used for designing cars as they are today, but Ratan Tata knew this technology could help create something special. He spent over 120 crore Indian rupees, which was a huge amount, to buy 225 computers and hire nearly 350 engineers to design the car. The engineers worked day and night, but Ratan Tata knew they needed more help. So he sent the design to a famous car institute in Italy called IDEA Institute to fine-tune it. The French engineers also helped with the car's engine, making sure that it would run smoothly. Some people criticized him for asking help from other countries, but Ratan Tata wasn't worried. He believed that there was no harm in learning from the best. Now that the design was ready, the next challenge was building the car in large numbers. Most of the workers at Tata Motors were used to building trucks, which were much bigger and didn't need the same level of precision as cars. So Ratan Tata personally worked with nearly 300 small businesses in Pune to teach them how to make the parts of the car. He wanted the Indica to be truly Indian, and that meant making sure that 98% of its parts were made in India. This decision created 12,000 new jobs, helping families across the region. The factory where the Indica was built covered 6 acres, and Ratan Tata made sure that it was designed with the workers in mind. He even bought an unused Nissan factory from Australia and shipped it to Pune. When he visited the factory, he saw that some workers had to bend down hundreds of times each day to fit the parts on the car. He immediately ordered robots to help with these tasks because he didn't want his workers to suffer from back pain. He even provided bicycles for the workers so they could move quickly around the massive factory. By mid-1999, The factory was producing one car every 56 seconds. That's how fast things were moving. As excitement built up, people were very eager to see the Indica hit the roads. Tata's advertising campaign was catchy and smart. Their slogan, "More car per car," promised more space, more comfort, and more value for money. And you know what? It worked. By the time the Indica was ready for launch, over 1,25,000 people had already placed orders. But when the first batch of Indica hit the market in 1999, problems began to surface. Some cars had manufacturing issues, and consumers were very unhappy. Critics were quick to attack Ratan Tata's dream. Newspapers published harsh reviews, and many said that Tata Motors should never have entered the car business. But Ratan Tata didn't give up. He called a meeting with his top executives and asked them for honest feedback. He took their advice seriously and began working on fixing the problems with the first Indica. Tata Motors held consumer service camps across the country, replacing the faulty parts for free. They spent over 500 crore to make sure that customers were happy. At the same time, Tata Motors engineers worked hard to improve the car. They fixed the manufacturing issues and made the car better. This new and improved version was called Indica V2 or version 2. The Indica V2 became a huge success. It was not perfect, but for many Indians, it was exactly what they needed. It was affordable, cheap to run, and easy to repair. The car was spacious, tough, and gave Indian families great value for their money. The slogan "More car per car" finally made sense. The Indica was not just a car, it was a symbol of India's growing strength in the global market. It showed the world that India could build cars that were not only affordable but also world class. The success of Indica inspired other Indian companies to dream bigger and take on the global market. More importantly, the Indian changed the way Indians thought about cars. It was not just about owning a vehicle anymore. It was about having a car that was truly Indian, made by Indian engineers with parts from Indian factories. Behind the Indica was the belief of one man, Ratan Tata. He believed in his dream of making India's first truly indigenous car, and he believed in the engineers who made it possible. Even when things got tough, he didn't back down. He worked with his team to fix the problems and deliver a car that Indian families could be proud of. Today, the Indica may not be in production anymore, but its impact is still felt across India's car industry. Ratan Tata's legacy is not just about the cars he built, but about the opportunities he created for thousands of workers and the hope he gave to millions of Indians. So next time when you're sitting in the traffic or driving through the streets, remember the story of the Indica. It was not just a car, it was the result of a dream, hard work, and the belief that India could stand on its own in the world of cars. Ratan Tata showed us that when we dream big and work together, we can achieve great things. The Tata Indica was not just more car per car, it was more hope per dream. And that's something worth remembering. As the wheels of progress keep turning, Ratan Tata's vision of an Indian car lives on, reminding us that every great journey starts with a dream. Thank you.